1, 2. 1, 2. Check. Testing 1, 2. I got my man here with me. Say peace to the people. Rashuan Resse.
Yeah. All right. What up?
Yeah. All right. So, what's good with y'all? Thank you for chiming in. I appreciate you. Much love and respect. Welcome to DAP. D.A.P. The Perspective. How y'all doing? If you can do me the favor, and just like the page if you could, I appreciate it. Like the page, share the page. We have an exclusive interview with my man Rashuan Resse. All right. Say what's up to the people once again, Rashuan.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing, everybody?
He late, y'all. We'd have been here earlier. We'd have been here 8 o'clock on the DAP, but he late. He just
ain't no parking around here. This thing like parking in downtown Manhattan.
I knew he was gonna use the excuse. What's good?
I'm good, man.
How you feeling? You good?
I'm good, man.
Good, man. Thank you. I appreciate you coming through.
No,
you know what I mean?
It's all love,
It means a lot, brother. It means a lot. Real talk. Yeah, I met Rasheed maybe about a year or so ago. Rashuan about a year ago, right?
Yeah, about that.
About a year. All right, about a year. Yeah, he was doing comedy with us at Larry G's G's Uptown Social.
Yeah.
G's Uptown. Yeah. So yeah, I appreciate the brother for coming out. You know what I mean? And we're going to be getting into a few questions with Rashuan. You know, some things you might not know about the brother.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm going to just ask him a few questions, but in any event, man, where you from though? Where you from?
Originally from East Orange, New Jersey.
East Orange? Oh, okay. EO in the house.
Yeah.
All right. I never knew that. I thought you was in North.
No, East Orange.
Wow. Okay. All right. You just hang out in North.
But I pretty much lived all over the goddamn place.
Right.
You know how that go.
Yeah. Of course.
Raised by single mothers, so you know how that go.
Yeah.
Moving around a lot.
How many siblings?
I'm the only child.
Oh, okay. Word. That's what's up. What is it like being the only child, bro?
For me, it was dope.
Really?
It was dope.
You were spoiled.
I wasn't really spoiled. It's just that,
you seem like a spoiled motherfucker.
You know how when you got siblings, brothers and sisters,
yeah,
and you leave stuff laying around your toys and shit like that,
right?
You come back, they're gone. Your only child, wherever I leave it, it's right there. If I left the Nintendo on pause, it was right when I got back, it was on pause.
That's what's up. You're right. Yeah. You got a point there.
So for me, it was always cool, and I was always easy to make friends with people in the neighborhood and stuff like that. But I like coming home to my own space. I'm still the same way to this day.
That's what's up. That's a blessing. So your stuff be organized.
I like my shit where it was at. You know, it doesn't move.
Yeah, you got what they call that when you got a thing when you have to leave it this way and you come back, you see it wrong.
And I gotta put it. That's me.
What they call that? COP something?
I don't know. That's OCD.
OCD, something like that. Right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Word. All right, do me a favor once again, y'all. Could y'all do me a favor and go ahead and like the page before we get into this interview? I need you guys to just at least like the page, and also let me know if you can hear me pretty good. Let me know if the sound is good, and that we'll go from there. Okay? Let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if the sound is decent. I appreciate that. Much love. Lloyd, what's good with you? Abdul, peace and blessings. Thank you for chiming in. Miss Clay, what's good with your auntie? How you feel? Much love and respect to you. Thank you for chiming in. Much love and respect. Once again, I want to just announce to you guys, we have something coming up soon, which is Wednesday. You can send your song in, whatever song it is. I'll play it live here Wednesday, and so your song can be heard. We're either going to trash it or we're going to pass it. All right, that's what's going down. So you get your song heard. The people going to decide if that song is going to be popping or not. Don't forget the Supreme Sunshine Shea Butter. This show is sponsored by the Supreme Sunshine Shea Butter. This is not a paid commercial or nothing like that. This is something that I do. This is my product. So make sure you pick up the pineapple coconut. All right. So Rashuan, I keep calling him Rashid. That's crazy.
Rest in peace to the legendary comedian. I don't know if you know Rashid Thurman. He passed away some years ago. But his set, Bad Boys of Comedy, everybody knows is Poppy I No Snitch. Went viral. He passed some years ago. But his is Rashid, and I was his Rashawn. And when he passed, I feel like everybody just kind of just put Rashid on it, but Rashawn. So that's understandable. That's
what's up. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate you giving me that pass.
Yeah, that's all good.
So the thing about it is, let me just start with what made you realize you was funny, and have you been doing this that long when you were in East Orange as a young boy? Did you find yourself with your clique, you know what I mean, at 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 15, cracking on each other and all that? What made you realize you were funny?
I mean, you know, coming up in an urban neighborhood, man, how we did, playing the dozens, cracking on each other, talking about each other's mothers and all that stuff. Me being this dark skin growing up, going back and forth with everybody, snapping and cracking, that was kind of just became the norm. So for me, I just became very good at it. Telling stories and stuff like that, man, it was natural for me. It was just I was comfortable doing it. So I didn't really know I was gonna fall into comedy. Right. That kind of happened by mistake, but it was natural for me. You know,
no doubt. So I heard you mention the dark skin thing. Back then, at that time, was the light skin then, and were you getting picked on because you were that? Were they calling you blackie and all that stuff? So did that make your comedy even get you prepared even more for?
For me, it was different because I was a different. Okay, how can I explain this? So I always tell people you grew up in a black neighborhood. You got the dirty kid, like dirty ass Jamal. You got the fat kid, fat Raheem. Then you got the black ass, that type of thing, right? Yeah. But the girls never treated me like that. I never really got. It was the guys that was snapping and cracking. The girls was always say some shit like, you know, you kind of cute to be dark, which is kind of fucked up to say. But I took it. Because you're not telling nobody light skin that, but that's what the girls would say to me. So I never really had a problem like that, you know, with the women. So it was always a problem with the guys. They would always be cracking and stuff like that. But
so the guys was hating basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So what was the biggest comment or the person that you looked up to who basically gave you the influence? Who actually influenced you growing up to get into this comedy thing?
This is a good. It's a great question. So
thanks.
People don't, you know, most people, you hear the story with comedians, everyone says, oh, well, I was sneaking listening to Richard Pryor albums, or it was Eddie Murphy, or it was Martin Lawrence, or so on and so forth, Red Fox, or Bill Cosby. For me, it was my grandmother.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I was raised single parent home, single parent, my mother and my mother's mother, which is my grandmother. Right. And my grandmother was pure comedy, man. This lady was, and I talk about it in my comedy when I'm on stage. But she was hilarious. So I'll give you an example, right? Okay. So my grandmother cursed like a sailor, right? So when you hear comedians say, I used to sneak and listen to Richard Pryor's albums and hear him curse stuff like that, I couldn't do that. Right. But my grandmother cursed just like Richard Pryor. So for me, that was natural comedy to me to hear her cursing and talking crazy. Right. So I'll give you an example. One night my mom's just leaving. We, growing up in the 80s, you know how it was, going to the movies, everybody went to the movies. Right. There was no streaming and all the stuff that's going on now. Right. So when E.T. came out, or the Star Wars, or Indiana Jones, you went to the movies, Karate Kid, so on and so forth. So this particular night, my mom's going to see Eddie Murphy Raw. And I'm crying because I want to go. My mother done got dressed up because she going to the movies, and she probably going to the club after that or whatever the case may be. And I'm at the door crying like, Mom, I want to go. My mother's like, you can't go. You know, Eddie gonna be cursing too much. You can't be around all this cursing. Now, if anyone knows, when you grow up in a black household, you grow up in a black community, grandmothers or people in the household turn any type of room in the house into a bedroom.
Facts.
Right? So my grandmother's bedroom was the living room.
Right.
So when you open the front door, you walk right into my grandmother's bedroom. Like, her bed is right there. So I'm standing at the door talking to my mom. I was like, Mom, please don't go. My grandmother's like, boy, get your ass in this house. Let your mother get out of here. Right. So my mother says it one last time. Says, you know, Eddie gonna be cursing too much. You know, I can't take you to this particular movies. I turn around and look at my grandmother's like, I'm gonna curse all the time though. My grandmother looked like, and that's
this all day long.
Yeah, so my grandmother looks at me, she says, and that's why your black ass ain't going, bitch. Close the door. Just like that. And my mother just laughed and closed the door. Right. So that's an example of how that was funny to me. That even at this age now, she's passed on.
Wow.
But
how old were you then about the time when that happened? Yeah.
Maybe 8 or 9 years old, man.
Wow.
You know, but I remember vividly my grandmother saying, and that's why you ain't going, bitch. That type of thing. And I thought it was funny. I was mad, but it was funny.
That's deep. Well, I had my grandma. She was funny too, man. She was mean and funny at the same time.
Both. There you go.
Yeah. One day I was leaving the house, and I said, I'll be right back. Grandma, I'll be right back. I'm going to go see you. She said, "You better sit your black ass down."
But that's how it was in those days. You know,
that was our era, bro.
Grandma gave you both. She gave you a balance.
That's right. That's right. Facts.
But she was my biggest influence, 100%.
That's what's up. What was your first time on the stage? You know, what was that like? Was it a horror story or anything like that?
Nah, it was actually pretty good. I started in a comedy club called Rascals. Remember Rascals?
Oh yeah, I remember Rascals.
Right, so the original comedy club where Rascals first started was in West Orange, New Jersey.
That's right.
And I went with another friend. Actually, I went with my best friend. We went to go support somebody else that was doing like an open mic night.
Right. And
I went, and I had already been contemplating about doing stand-up for years. I never moved on it. And when I saw the guy performing that we were supporting, he was corny. I'm like, I could do this shit.
I can do this.
So I went to the guy, Bobby. Shout out to Bobby Gonzo, white gentleman that helped me out early in my career. And I asked him, could I go up? And he said, listen, come back next week, and I'll put you up and give you like 5 or 6 minutes.
That's what's up.
The following week I came back, I sent out like information, telling everybody I was going to be performing at Rascals. Over 250 people came out.
Wow.
Yeah,
nice.
I promise you. Nice. Everybody came out. They was like, yo, Rob doing comedy. And everybody, this was no flyers. This was no social media.
Wow.
250 people came out.
How did it make you feel when you seen all them people in that building, bro?
It was amazing, man. Cause I remember Bobby Gonzo, because the old Rascals, you had to come down into the showroom down the steps. Right. And I remember seeing him at the door like, yo, who you guys here to see? Rashuan! Wow. That type of thing. And everybody was just coming in. So I did well.
That's what's up.
I did considerably well for my first time on stage, but here's the difference.
Wow.
You had 200-something people that were friends.
That know you. Okay, they're gonna root you on regardless.
So they rooting you on. They showing you love, right?
I get you.
That same night, a friend of mine was like, yo, you gotta go to they had a spot called Nuno's in Linden.
But nobody know you.
Nobody know you. Shout out to Hamburger, man. Hamburger was the host of this particular room called Nuno's in Linden. And my boy was like, yo, you gotta go to Nuno's the next day, and you did so well here. And without going through a whole long scenario, let's just say all hell broke loose.
How
Stone cold bomb.
Really? You bombed out? Nobody liked it?
Shit was crazy.
How did that make you feel?
Shit was crazy.
That's a horror story, bro.
I don't want to make the story long, but I'm gonna make it quick.
Man, we got all night.
All right, so check this out. I gotta tell you the story. This shit is crazy. This is my second time on stage. My first time on stage was on a Monday. I went to Nuno's the next day, the very next day. It was Tuesday. It was my barber. He's the one that tells me, I'm gonna take you out there, Rod. I ain't have a car at the time. Right. I got you.
Right.
Get out there.
Right.
We get out there. I get into the club just opens up, and I never forget it. I remember I'm a new comic at the time, and my idols that I had saw as I got past my grandmother, of course, I started watching Def Comedy Jam. We'll get into that a little later. And I'm like, wow, like I'm seeing Hamburger. I walk in, I see Hamburger. I'm like, yo, that's Hamburger.
That big hat.
And he's standing off to the side. I'm like, oh, snap, that's Hamburger. And I go to my boy, I'm like, yo, I'm about to go ask him, can I get on? Can I do a guest spot? Do some time. So I go to Hamburger, and I'm like, hey, Hamburger, how you doing? I'm Rashuan Resse. I'm a new comedian. You mind if I get some time? And he says to me, I'll never forget, he says, I'll give you 7 minutes. I was like, what?
Wow.
I couldn't believe it. So I go back to my boy. I'm like, yo, he put me on, kid. So he was like, yo, that's what's up. I told you, man.
Nice.
Yo, you about to get on, baby.
Nice.
Right? We thinking this shit gonna happen faster than it's supposed to happen.
Right.
So at the time I'm working for this company called Merck Medco. I'm a customer service rep.
Right.
people that call in that want to refill their prescriptions, right? And you know, in a call center, it's all women in the call center. So all of these girls that work on my job just happen to be there. They're all there. So my boy is at the table. He's like, yo, I'm gonna go get some girls. I'm gonna bring them to the table. Whoopty whoop, whoopty whoop. He go grab about 3 or 4 girls. They come to the table. He introduces me to them. He goes, that's my boy Rashuan. He about to be the next Martin Lawrence. He just speedballing, right? He's like, so the girl's like, oh my God, you going up tonight? I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna do my thing. I'm on my little cocky. Like, yeah, I'm do what I do. This is gonna be my second time on stage, by the way.
Right.
So I start feeling myself. I go back to Hamburger. Me and Hamburger laugh about this to this day. I go back to Hamburger and say, hey, Hamburger, talk to you for a second. Like, sure, what's going on? I said, you think I could get 10 minutes? He was like this. No, 7 minutes. Like basically, like,
just
get
like
the fuck
that.
out of here. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Fast forward, we go. The show begins.
Right.
Hamburger starts the show. He's hosting, whatever case may be. They had a young man that was a rapper opening up the show. Right. He goes up, opens up the show. I'm cheering him on, showing him mad love.
Showing love.
Yo,
It's only right.
He comes off the stage. I go right up to him. Yo, good job, man. Keep pushing because he's a new artist. Like I'm a new artist.
Of course, showing love.
This is where everything changes, right? It's time for me to go up, and I never forget it. Hamburger, I think I irritated him by asking, can I do 10 minutes instead of the 7 that he had originally offered me? And what you don't understand, when you're a new comedian, 3 minutes is long on stage if you don't know what you're doing.
Facts. It's a long time, bro.
Bruh, this is how Hamburger brings me on stage. The next comedian coming up, I don't know him. I never seen him. I don't know what he's gonna do, but we're gonna find out. This is how he brought me on stage.
Wow.
And that's how veteran comedians did that to you, but that's how that made you stronger.
That made you stronger, right?
That made you get up there and figure it out. So he's bringing the room all the way down,
right?
And you got to figure out how to get him up.
Makes sense.
Yeah, well, I go up there and I never forget, I start talking about R. Kelly.
Wow.
Like, what's up with R. Kelly pissing on them kids and all that? And the crowd was like this. It was dead silent, like nobody moved, everybody was like this.
Wow.
I said, yeah, man, so you know R. Kelly, man, the priest, just that, a third. Next thing I know, all I hear is, you corny as shit. I look. So immediately, I went to snap crack mode, like, you know, just like on the corner, snap back. Somebody said something to me, snap back to them.
Right.
And I seen a lot of dreads. You know, dreads. I seen they was young. I said, man, Nelly and the Lunatics, calm down back there.
Right.
And when I said that, it got bad.
It got worse.
Started booing.
Wow.
They started booing. And when I looked, the dude that was booing the hardest was the rapper that I was showing love when he came on the stage. He was booing the hardest. Boom, boom, going crazy.
You lying.
I couldn't believe it.
You were?
Man, I came off that stage, the whole place looking at me like I'm crazy. I go back to the table where my man is sitting there with the girls he brought to the table. He said I'm about to be the next Martin Lawrence. They're sitting there with he's sitting there with his hands in his face like this.
Trying to cover his face? Acting like.
Well, he looking at me like, what the fuck just happened?
You do? Oh,
and the girls is just like this. Martin Lawrence, please.
Wow.
So that particular night, it was bad, man. It was bad. And then the last thing I'm gonna tell you, there's another comedian, my man Sleepy Floyd. He goes on stage, and he does a big thing with the DJ.
What you mean?
Like he basically has the DJ play music, and as he's had the DJ playing music, he's doing different dances. So he's like, he got the crowd, getting the crowd back up. So he's like, oh, a Jamaican could dance to this song.
Right.
You know, a Spanish guy could dance to this song.
Yeah, so the crowd.
And he would tell the DJ, cut it, DJ, put it back on. And then the last thing he did, I'll never forget this, y'all. He starts dancing, but he's doing this. He's doing this. Just like while he's dancing, he said, and this is me smacking the shit out that last corny motherfucker that was up there. And the whole room went like this.
Like a wave.
And I just sat there and just looked like, my God. And I seen all the girls I work with at Merck Metco, just looking like this, like, we can't wait to see you at work. So that was my word. That was it. Yeah, so it's like a great show, and then the next show, it humbled me quick,
just like that. Wow.
And I contemplated on quitting comedy after that.
Wow, that's deep, bro. What made you not give up? What was the thing that said don't give up? I mean, 'cause that has to be a horrible feeling, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Getting booed like that for people you don't know, and the person that was showing you love at first. That got to be a bad feeling, bro.
So to tell you, it's so funny how God worked, man. So that particular night, the same guy who brought me with him, the one that had his hands in his face, which was my barber at the time,
right?
He basically disappeared. Yeah, he bounced on me. He basically like faded into the mist and was like, I don't want to be around because he got the bomb on him, and I want the bomb on me. And one of my longtime friends at the time had just happened to pop in. He came by.
Wow.
And he drove me home.
That's what's up.
And we sat outside. You know, you got Society Hill in Jersey City.
Yeah.
I lived in Society Hill in Newark at the time. And we sat outside till about 6 in the morning. And I told him, I said, man, I'm quitting, man. Fuck this shit. I'm gonna go ahead and be a cop like I decided, man.
Wow.
black people don't know how to laugh and this, that, and the third. I was just
Yeah,
talking
all
shit.
kind of reasons, all kind of
I was
excuses.
finding every excuse,
Every
but
excuse, yeah.
it's you.
Right.
And he was like, nah, bro. He said, yo, you can't quit. All the greats have to go through that. You have to learn. It's only a second time on stage. That's what made me just keep going from there. So I was gonna quit.
Shout out to that barber, bro.
Yeah.
He inspired you.
No, not the barber. The barber left me.
That's the barber. Oh, so the
He
guy
left.
with you was just
He
a friend.
disappeared. There was another friend
right,
that happened to be there.
Got it.
He took. Yeah, it was him.
Well, shout out to the barber too, because he did. You know.
You
he put
probably
on the
know
spot. From where?
Joe Budden's podcast.
Oh yeah.
Ish.
Yeah. Okay.
The light skin one, Ish.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
I know Ish since we were kids. It was him. We sat outside, and he was like, "Bro, you can't quit." And I
well,
kept
shout out
doing
to
it.
both of them though, bro, because you know, men sharpen steel.
If he
like
didn't take
steel.
me, that's how it goes.
Facts.
It's
That's how it go, bro. It's
how it go.
supposed to have went like that.
It was written that way.
I believe
absolutely.
that. I believe that. That's a blessing, man. That's a blessing. That's a great story, bro. Of staying the course. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a hard course, man, but it's, it's
Real
part of the
talk.
game.
Exactly. How did your background shape your sense of humor? Your background. How did it shape your sense of humor?
You say background, we were talking as far as how I was raised or what?
Yeah, how you was raised. Not just with dealing with your grandma. You know, dealing with when you got into your teens, you got into your 20s and stuff like that. You know what I mean? When you start hitting the block. You know what I mean?
It just, for me, man, it's just, you know, it's the culture. You know, I grew up on North 15th Street in East Orange. Naughty by Nature is from North 18th.
Right.
They from right like 3 blocks out.
Oh, so you knew them too, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
Vinny, that's
no
what
doubt. No doubt.
Vin is my guy.
Word.
But I grew up around these guys, man. So just the whole hip hop culture. I mean, you know, we all came up in a time where we saw the turn of hip hop from the beginning to when it advanced and when it got great and all that good stuff. You know what I mean?
Word.
Just going through those times, man. I mean, it's just, I think, you know, just living life the way we were able to live. We've been on this earth a good amount of time to see technology change.
Word.
Look what we're doing now. You know what I mean?
Facts.
It's amazing when I really think about it, man. But yeah, going through different relationships, different hardships. These are the things that I talk about when I'm on stage. You know, I tell people all the time, I talk a lot about men and women, the difference between both of us, what we go through, you know, how I see things through my eyes, man. But I think it's just it's really just, like I said, just the shape of where I grew up. I got a chance to grow up in the hood till I was 14, 15. Then my mother moved us to South Orange, Maplewood.
Oh, okay. How was it over there?
Beautiful. That's why I went to high school. I played ball.
Big difference there?
Hell yeah.
More
What?
suburban?
I mean, when I'm walking in East Orange, back in those days, you know, we got on Sherlins and 8 balls and all that. I'm worried about somebody popping the trunk and whipping out a 12-gauge shotgun and robbing you.
Wow.
We all been through that growing up, you know. But when I moved to South
Plus,
Orange,
you were spoiled anyway, so you had everything.
I mean, I did. I really did. Moms took care. My mom was I won't say well off, but she was a teacher. Later on,
Middle class.
retired as a principal, vice principal.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I didn't want for too much. You know, my mother thing was, you do good in school, I'll do what I need to do for you.
That's
you know?
what's up. That's what's up.
But when we moved to the suburbs, it was great, man, because then I was able to really walk the street. I don't remember walking in South Orange Maplewood as a kid and ever having to do this.
Oh,
you know
wow.
what I mean? It was
Nice.
it was beautiful, man. So I got a chance to see, you know, both sides of the world. So that also helped expand me as far as stand up, because you get to. I'm around. When I was in East Orange, I'm around all black folks.
Right.
When I got to Columbia, we was only 25% black in the high schools. Now I got white friends. Shout out to Pete Vyas, you know, Brian Ubinsky, you know, Larry Bushio. These guys, I mean,
all that stuff helped shape you, brother. That's what I'm
man.
Makes sense.
It made me comfortable around other races.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I mean, it made me comfortable when I started at Rascals. Even though a lot of my friends came out to that particular show, there were a lot of white people there too.
Got it.
So you had to be able to be comfortable in front of everybody.
Makes sense, bro.
I got friends that I've had friends who walk into restaurants and it's all white people in there like this. Like, maybe we should go somewhere else. We'll go somewhere else for what?
They feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I appreciate my mom's doing that, because it allowed me to be more diverse.
It makes sense. It makes sense. What was the wildest gig you ever did? You ever did?
Yo,
the
you know what?
wildest gig.
Doing this comedy thing, man, especially early on, and I'm gonna be really honest with you, like, you know, so y'all know me and this brother met me hosting comedy show at G's Uptown Social here in Jersey City.
Facts.
Shout out to my nigga Lil Cash.
Lil Cash.
At Jersey City.
Yep.
That's my brother. I came and did that show because of him.
No doubt.
I'll be honest with you, I don't do those type of spots when I do comedy anymore. I really don't. It's nothing personal, but for me, it's just elevation. So, you know, the elevation of a comedian is wanting to do comedy clubs, theaters, so on and so forth. So I try to stay away from those type of elements sometimes, because for me, I don't want people looking at me like, oh, well, we see him here.
Right.
And you know, when I used to be in, I'm telling people I'm just coming back from here, or I'm doing second or third.
Right.
Because people tend to think, and they'll put you in a box. Like, they see you at a club like that, like, oh, this is where you. I do this for real.
Right, you do it for
I'm
real.
television credit and all that. You know, I do this for real. So
that's what's up.
I just wanted to put that out there. I did that for Low.
Yeah,
and that's my guy.
Shout out to Low, man. Low's good dude, man. That's how I met you, through Low.
That's how we met, of course.
Yep, that's how we met. Yep.
Lost my train of thought. What was the original question?
The original question is, what was the wildest gig you ever did? The wildest.
I apologize, y'all, because sometimes I lose my day in train of thought.
That's all right.
So the wildest show I did, oh my God, in East Orange at a bar. Mm-hmm. And let's just say a situation happened. The manager got into a fight with a gentleman that was there. Mm-hmm. Me not using my spidey senses. Well, my spidey senses did go off, but not at first. Right. The gentleman left out the bar. He comes back. This is at a comedy show, y'all. Wow. He comes back. He's mad because he just got beat up by the manager, which he did. Jeez. And he shoots up the place.
He shoot it up?
He shoots up the place. Shout out to my girl Habiba. She's a bartender. Wow. She's playing the touch master at the bar. And I'm standing behind her, and I see him come back. Now, mind you, this is like maybe 10 minutes later. The security guard stops him at the door. And when I saw him, I'm like, who just got beat up? Why would he just come back? And he was calm. He was very calm. The security was like, man, you can't come back in. He's like, no, I'm good. You know, I don't want no problems. The whole time he got a gun on him.
Wow.
So I look at her, and I said, Habiba, come here. She's like, what? I said, come here. It just didn't feel right. The moment I said that, he turned around, shot the gun like right next to the security guard's ear.
Wow. And
let off about 4 or 5 shots to the point where I'm turning around, I'm running, but I'm still looking. I can see the fire coming out of the gun. So if you can see the fire come out of the gun, that means the bullet is in your direction.
It's in your direction. That's right. Nice. Yeah.
And the gentleman next to me got shot in the leg.
Wow.
Yeah. True story.
That's deep.
So
that's deep.
You know, when people say we talk about sacrifice, and I've been doing comedy a long time, and I don't know if a sacrifice is any stronger than that.
Yeah.
When a guy next to you gets shot in the leg, you know, and you're right there, and all I was there was hosting a comedy show.
Yeah, that is definitely one
of
the
wildest.
Yeah. Wow, that's deep, bro.
Only one time.
That's the first time that ever happened, and last.
But you talking about it's like football. It's like a game of inches. Right. If that bullet comes over 12 inches, if it hits me in the right spot, might not be here sitting and talking to you.
Sense. You know what I mean? So how do you balance and keeping it real with your comedy and being funny at the same time? You know, how do you balance the realness and you know, just being funny? Because I find that when I listen to you do your comedy, it seems like you have a lot of real stories, bro.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of real stories in your comedy, you know what I mean? But it'd be funny, but you know, how do you keep the balance, a real balance?
I'm just honest, man. I'm probably one of the most honest comics that's doing it. I think I am. You know what I mean? I'm pretty honest with what's going on. You gotta be very mindful of what's going on in today's society and the culture is.
Right.
You gotta be kind of I don't want to say you got to question what you say, but you do got to kind of be careful.
Right.
Because we're in an era now where people will blackball you, they'll put you on the internet, you know, other stuff. So, but in my mind, like I'm pretty honest. So I'll give you an example. Like, so,
right.
You know, you the big thing now is people don't get canceled. It's like, oh, you can't talk about gay people. You can't just stand a third.
I was going to get into that too. Right.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I did a show the other night. I was in Yonkers with my brother Smokey Suarez. Mm-hmm. And there was a gentleman, and there was a young lady who was openly lesbian, another guy, and then it was openly gay. We had a ball, right? So the difference with, you know, and every comedian can't do this. They're not, and I don't mean this in a cocky way, but they're not gifted enough. And you've seen me work, and you've seen me
definitely
talk shit to people, have a good time with them, but you've never seen anybody want to fight me.
Facts.
Want to do something to me.
Facts.
Because it's a thin line, and you have to have the ability or know how to balance. Right. How much pressure, you know, how much gas to put on, and when to hit the brakes and when to let off, and that's what a lot of comedians don't have.
I definitely seen you do that. I can definitely bear witness to what he's saying, because I can remember him going off on a dude at G's, and the guy was really getting upset. Like, he was really talking like, you know, like he want to see us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So my man said, sit your ass down. You know, bro, I don't even want number. You know what? I could tell you, you know, whatever. He smoothed it out. Yeah. He smoothed it out to the point my man was loving him. You know what I mean? Shaking his hand, hugging him, showing him love.
I've always had that ability. I've always had that uncanny ability to do that, bro. And I just think that just comes from, I believe it or not, that just comes from how you raise.
Right.
You know, like I said, my mom's let me go moving into the suburbs, learning how to deal with people. I also worked in sales for 13 years.
Right.
Before I got to stand up.
Okay.
And working in sales, you're working with the public. You're working with different people, so you learn how to deal with different people, different cultures, different walks of life.
That means a lot, bro.
And that means a whole lot. You know what I mean? So when I'm on stage, man, I understand that everybody has been through something, they're going through something.
Right.
And you have to know, like I said, when to ease up.
Yeah, you got to basically you almost have to have some type of therapeutic skills
Oh, I always tell people comedians are doctors without degrees.
Yeah, that's a fact. You have to have that to the point, on top of compassion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, so that's just pretty much it. I always tell comedians, man, younger comedians, man, the object of a comedian is to make a fan out of enemy.
Right. Facts.
So you have to know how to balance.
No doubt. So I remember you talking about the people that was booing you and stuff.
Yeah.
They were booing you. How do you handle hackers now? Any crazy stories about other than the one that you gave, far as the people booing you? How do you handle hackers now in your seasoned?
I'll be honest with you, man. I don't get heckled. Mm-hmm. I've been pretty blessed. I don't recall getting heckled in a long time, if so. Mm-hmm. I just think I found a way to connect with people, and then be able to connect with me. And if you can do that, if you can find that connection right there, you generally don't have to deal with hecklers. Yeah. And if you do, you have to something as simple as, I might talk to somebody and they might seem like they don't want to respond the way I want them to respond. And I might do something, man, give them a round of applause, man. They're in a good mood today, whatever, and I'm gonna keep it moving.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
and that would make them feel good too, though.
It always works. That's my goal too.
Makes sense.
That's pretty much it.
So what's one joke you told that got most unexpected reaction? The one joke that you told that you didn't even think that this particular joke would get this type of reaction.
Abortion joke.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got praised for it because it was just like people don't expect you to be able to go that dark or talk about something that deep, especially with women, because most of the time we're in a comedy show, predominantly women.
Yeah.
So I always tell people, you should be able to find funny in anything. It's just how you put it, what you say, and how you go about it. So I think I haven't done it in a long time, but the joke just basically talks about how I went to an abortion clinic, which I did. Let's be clear, it wasn't my situation. It was an ex-girlfriend. Okay. That's the type of guy I am. No, real talk. Okay. She got pregnant and she had nobody to go with her. She asked me to go. And I don't know why I did that, but I went with her.
You went with her. You must have liked her.
Nah, we was cool, but I just felt bad for her because she was in a tough situation.
You must have liked her.
I don't want to. I don't want to go into a whole thing, but it was just wild. Like as a comedian, comedians are always looking for the joke. That's something said by Chris Rock. He's 100% right. Like we're always looking for the punch, the punchline, right? And I just remember going that particular day. It was a Saturday morning, and I just remember it was packed. Right, picketers outside. They had the signs like "Don't kill a baby." I was crazy, right? And I see guys walking in and they pushing and whip the people out the way and all this other stuff. So to me, I'm seeing funny in that because it's like I'm watching a guy walking in with a girl that he's trying to have an abortion with. And he's telling her like, "Yeah, don't you want to be a nurse? We got to go in here and do this. You got to get this out the way. You want to be a nurse, right? You don't want to mess your life up." Like I'm seeing this with my own eyes. And then these people are assuming that I'm the father of this baby with this girl, so they already attacking me. And then long story short, when I got inside, I'm just watching everything that's going on. And the first thing I noticed was it was packed like IHOP on a Saturday morning. Like this shit was crazy. I mean, like a 20-minute wait. That's how packed it was. And then I'm watching.
He said packed like IHOP.
Yeah, I'm watching like one young lady. She did like you go in there and you're seeing so many different things going on, so many moving parts. And I'm watching a young lady in there. She don't give a fuck. She on the phone with her girlfriend like, "Yeah, bitch, I'm here right now. I got my 325 ready. I'm about to get it out of here. I don't got time for this, bitch. I'll see you tonight when I get out of here. Matter of fact, I'm gonna need you to pick me up." You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, I'm seeing so much going on. I'm seeing another guy, he in there, and they called the girl name, but they called a different girl name, and it wasn't the girl he was with. Wow. So he trying to rush her. She like, "They ain't call me. They didn't say my name." And he like, "Oh, all right, cool. I'm just making sure we good." Right. So just so much was going on.
No doubt.
And I was able to get into those particulars of all of that, and people actually laughed.
Wow.
And I didn't think they would.
That's deep.
Because that's pretty dark. You know what I mean?
That was deep though. How you pulled it off though. Yeah, that was deep. Okay, so is there a topic you absolutely refuse to joke about?
That's a good question, man. Yeah. Nah. I talk about everything, bro.
Yeah. I remember you mentioned something about the political thing, and
I talk about all Trump and all that.
There was a touchy subject, but you went into it, and people was trying to come at you.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Was Diddy? Was it?
It was about Trump, I think. Was it Trump or Diddy? I think it was Trump. Yeah, it was Trump.
Just so we clear, I'm not for Trump. So everybody on here like, "Oh, this motherfucker voting for Trump." No doubt. I'm for Trump. But I, you know, once again, it's funny and everything. You know, Trump
right.
is definitely a character.
No
you know,
doubt,
so
no doubt.
but yeah, I talk about anything, man. I don't get too in depth in it with politics, and you've seen me perform enough. You know, I'm not gonna sit up there and do no hour on no Donald Trump or politics. I'm just not gonna do that because people are so divided on that. You know what I mean? So you kind of, if you're gonna touch on it, find the funny, move on.
Like you said earlier. So in today's culture, do you ever feel pressure? You know, really hard pressure to feel like you have to censor yourself.
It depends on what you're doing, bro. You have to, you know, that's a part of being a professional comic. Right. You have to know your audience. You got to read your audience. You got to know what type of crowd you're dealing with. Where are you located doing this show?
Right.
And you have to be careful, man. You know, I can't be doing a military show. I've done military shows and go up there and say fuck the president. You can't do that, right? You know what I mean? So it's like you have to. You know, that's a part of being a professional comedian. You have to read the room. You got to know what you're doing.
Read the room. That's a fact. That's a fact. I agree. So what's the funniest thing that happened to you this week? This week, the funniest thing that happened to you?
Me?
Yeah.
Think, bro.
Because most comedians find funny in everything, like you just mentioned. So, you know, something had to happen this week that you saw funny in.
For me, it's a little tough. I'm an improv comic.
Okay.
So, how can I put it? Like, so it's like most comedians sit down and write, and every comic has their own routine and how they go about preparing themselves to tell jokes. I don't write material down.
Really?
Yeah, I don't write. I've never written a joke down. I might write it. I might type a tag on my phone, and the tag might just be, you know, David Adams podcast,
and you just run off that.
And then I'm just gonna go off of that. I'm gonna find my way through that way.
So you never thought about writing for like scripts or plays or movies?
That's different. I do that too.
Cool.
I've written for comedians. I can't say who.
Okay.
That type of thing is different. But for me, right, I've written for some of your funny female comedians.
Oh wow, that's what's up.
And I like writing for female comedians because it's easier for me to write for them because I don't have to worry about the same stuff I do.
Say that one more time. You broke up. You gotta go.
I'm sorry. I'd rather write for a female comic, which I have done because I can write in their perspective and do what they do, and it doesn't cross paths with mine.
Right.
She's a female, I'm a male. I don't have to worry about her doing my material. You know what I mean? That material I give to her, or let's say she purchases, let's say that.
That's what's up.
It stays there.
That's what's up.
But yeah, I do all that, man. I'm in the midst of, I've written a couple of TV shows. I wrote a game show. I got a reality show that I've written based upon a certain celebrity. It's a lot going on in my career right now.
That's what's up.
That's the part that people don't see as comedians, man. They just look at the stand-up part, but it's so much more. It's writing, it's acting, it's producing, so many different avenues you can go into. But that's one of my favorite things to do outside stand-up is write.
That's what's up. Nice.
But for me, as a comedian, I'm not gonna say I don't write. I kind of write within my head.
Got it.
Because
you write on the brain. You write on the brain.
Well, it's more fun for me.
Yeah, and it's creative. It's creative.
As a comedian, new. You'll hear people say this all the time. Right. If they go to comedy shows and they have certain comedians, they're like, "Oh, he's doing the same stuff." I've been hearing this for 3 years. I've been hearing this for 4 years. So I always said I never wanted to be that type of comedian where someone and you work with me enough at G's. You know what I mean? They just doing what I'm doing. It's not like you come back and say, "Damn, Rod doing the same shit over and over again." Nah, I never want to be that comic. So to give you a better scenario, it's like a singer going on stage every night singing Ebony and Ivory.
The same song.
Every night, Ebony and me. No, I'm the type that's gonna say Ivory and I'm gonna mix it up.
Switch it up.
And that's how I have fun. It stays fresh for me.
Yeah, I get it. So which celebrity do you think secretly has the best sense of humor?
A comedian or just
comedian? That's a celebrity. That's in the mainstream.
I'm trying. That would be more so. That's like almost like my favorite comic, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah. Who has the best sense of humor? It don't have to be your favorite comic, but you know.
I mean, for me,
your favorite comic might not have a good sense of humor.
For me, it'll always be Martin Lawrence.
That's what's up. Yeah.
I think Martin is the epitome of. I mean, I was. For me, it's Martin. Like I said, I didn't grow up with Eddie. I mean, of course, I watched his movies and things like that, but I really grew up in touch with Martin and watching Martin. Listen, I used to wake up. I used to have Martin's tape in my radio, and I have it on a timer, and it would come on and wake me up out of my sleep in the morning to go to school. You know, that's how deep it was for me.
That's
deep. Martin was Martin was it.
That's what's up.
It's kind of ironic, man, that we go here, but I'm gonna tell you something real quick. So when I first started, how I got into stand up. A friend of mine, He's in prison now.
Okay. Lord have mercy.
We're walking home from school, and he's like, "Yo, you ever heard of Def Comedy Jam?" And I'm like, "What's that?" We didn't have cable, right? So I was like it's on HBO. I'm like, "Well, I don't got HBO, I don't got cable." He's like, "Don't worry about it. I record it every Friday night. I got all the tapes at home. Yo, you got to check it out." Like, all right, cool. So the next day I come to his house, go down to the basement, he pops the tape in, and I'll never forget it. It's the moment that changed my life. He pops the tape in because before Def Jam, and that's why Def Jam is so important, we can also get into that too. We only knew Eddie Murphy, Red Fox, Bill Cosby, Keenan Ivory Wayans, right? Flip Wilson.
Right.
It was like a Robert Townsend. It was a certain core of the black comedian that you knew of, and that was it. And then along came Robin Harris, who was starting to make the move. But at that time, Hollywood was only letting one black comic in at a time. That's how it was going, right? And along comes Def Comedy Jam, and now you have boom, this flourish, this big boom of African American comedians and comedians, women and men, that are taking over the goddamn industry, right? So he pops this tape in, and I'll never get this, bro. He had some cream pants, if I'm not mistaken, and he had like a yellow suit. It was Bill Bellamy.
Bill Bellamy, wow.
And he's doing the classic booty call joke. And man, I fell in love right then and there. Wow. That's when I knew. I was like, holy shit.
Because he's from East Orange, Newark,
He's from actually, I think Bill is from Newark.
Newark, okay.
Newark or Elizabeth. I think it's Newark, though.
Yeah. He just did a show, too, recently.
Yeah, I heard it in Jersey City. Yeah, so I heard he was real funny, too.
Yeah, that was real good.
Bill tough, though. He's tough on that stage. Well, a lot of people don't realize how tough he is.
Yeah, he's dope, yeah. I think he's very, both sides of the, fence as well. Talking about
Bill is tough, man. Yeah, you do both. You do mainstream, urban, you do everything, man. I mean, but when I saw that, I was like, whoa.
That's it.
Like, it was everything for me at that point.
Nice.
Then so we talk about when I didn't sneak and listen to Richard Pryor's albums. Guess what? I snuck and watched Def Jam. And that's what pulled me into just black comedy or just comedy.
Wow. That's what's up. That's what's up. If you can roast a celebrity, who would it be? If you could just roast one.
If I could roast one?
If you can roast a celebrity that, who would that be? And why?
Maybe Forrest Whitaker. That's ugly motherfucker. Sorry, Forrest, but Forrest got an eye right here, an eye over there. Motherfucker head, I don't know. That's I got a head like a cantaloupe. That motherfucker just look crazy.
Yeah, you had to be
great actor.
You had to be hilarious in school, man. Give me a story. I think I heard a story. I don't know. You might want to go into it or not. But it was about Lauryn Hill.
Yeah. I mean, oh man,
I think I heard a story about that. You know what I mean? About you talking about Lauryn Hill. I'll let you tell the story.
Well, I don't want to make it long and drawn out.
No, real quick.
Lauryn was a great talent. I got a chance to kick it with Lauryn when we were in high school. She was a couple years older than me, but she got me out of some trouble. And make a long story short, when I'm gonna make the story is so crazy, but I don't want to get to it. I don't make it long. All right, so basically, when I came to my high school, remember I transferred from East Orange to South Orange Maplewood. My mom's was there.
Right.
Lauryn was already going to Columbia, of course. The legend had already been started with her. People were already like, Lauryn is a great actress. She's a singer, so on and so forth. I didn't care. I was a basketball player and a football player. I didn't care if you was singing this shit. That shit didn't mean nothing to me. So when I had an older cousin that was already going to school with her, and he was already telling me about her. I was like, I don't care about that shit. She played basketball, that type of thing. I didn't care. So just fast forward the story a little bit. What happened was the first time I met her, I was playing basketball for the team, and I had a water break, and I'm going to the cafeteria to get some water. And Lauryn was treated like a principal. So I just want y'all to know, like in my high school, they treated her like she was 25.
Wow.
The shit was crazy. And this is an example of what I'm talking about. So it's Saturday morning, and we had what you call Saturday morning detention. And with Saturday morning detention, that's where if you got in trouble, you had to come to school from 8 to 12, and all you could do was read books and do your homework for 4 hours straight. They had Lauryn Hill working as a chaperone. What kid do you know that's 17, 18 years old being treated as a chaperone, working as a chaperone at school detention? You only go to detention if you're in trouble.
Yeah.
She's working it. So when I'm going, we had 2 cafeterias. So as I'm walking to the water fountain, she comes over. And when she comes over, she's like, "You can't dribble the basketball." I was dribbling the basketball. Got detention on the other side. You can't dribble the basketball. So she says to me, she says, "You new here, right?" I said, "Yeah. I'm from East Orange." So she comes, she said, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Lauryn." I was like, "All right, Rashuan, nice to meet you." So she says to me, she says, "Do you rock And I'm like, yeah, I ball. That's what I do. I got the ball in my hand.
Word.
And this is what the crazy part about this story is about, you know, never underestimate a person and what God has planned for them, because I sincerely underestimated her. She asked me she says, do you rock? And I said, yeah, I play ball. That's what I do. She says, no, I'm talking about rapping.
Ooh, okay.
Right? So at this point in time, she's probably looking for a prize or Wyclef. Right? And I'm laughing at this girl. You know she went on to win Grammys, right? So I'm laughing I'm not laughing at her face, but in my mind I'm like, bitch, I don't rap and neither do you. That's what I'm thinking, right? So she says to me immediately, she changed the subject when she realized that I'm not in the music like that.
Right.
She grabs the basketball and she says, well, I used to play a little basketball too. She dribbles the basketball between her legs one time. So we got a little game. So we joke around a little bit. She says, I gotta get back on the other side. She's like, dribble it. I was like, nice meeting you. She leaves. Think nothing of it. No big deal.
Right.
I finally met the girl, my cousin, and all sweating and stuff. Who cares? I'm going to play basketball. About a week later, we have an assembly, and she performs. Now, if anybody who knows me, I'm heavy into R&B music. I love R&B music. This man will tell you, because I be telling, like, bro, put on the Mary J. Blige, put on the Bobby Brown. He know what I like.
Always R&B.
I don't need all this hip-hop stuff. If it's hip-hop, it got to be old school hip-hop. I don't want to hear all this new shit.
Real talk.
She performs in the auditorium, and we had a real big auditorium where the whole school could fit in it.
Nice.
Bro, she goes up there, and they introduce her, and she sings.
Louder.
They introduce her on stage in the high school auditorium, and she sings a cappella. Right. And I had never heard anyone do this. I went to church as a kid with my grandmother and everybody. There was an organ in church, there was a guitar, right? There was a bass. Right. She's singing in an auditorium filled with everybody in the school.
No music at all.
No music. And let me tell you something, y'all. Ooh. I knew instantaneously on my grandmother's soul, this girl was a star.
Wow. Nice.
Bro,
wow.
I'm sitting next to my boy Kadir. I'll never forget it. And I say to him, now mind you, I'm young, y'all. I'm like 15 years old at the time. And I lean over to Kadir while she's singing. And I said, man, pussy.
Say it again.
I lean over to him, but I'm joking. You talk about, I know you was funny being younger. Right. This is an example. I said, I lean over to him and I'm like, yo, man, I eat her pussy. And he bust out laughing. So you hear everybody like, shh, like that. So but I was joking around. But I was so blown away by her. That's all I could think of. No, I wouldn't even eat no pussy that time. I was still damn near virgin, right? I'm dead serious. So,
shit.
I'm telling you, I wasn't doing it.
That's my allergies.
I was scared of pussy back then. Yeah, I was scared. I was scared. I'm telling you, I would have never ate no pussy that early.
All right, got you.
So I'm just joking around, and so the auditorium, I mean, it ends. Right. Assembly ends. We go back to last period, and anybody remember when you was back in high school and it was last period, you had like 30 minutes left in the day, and your teacher like, all right, y'all can talk amongst yourselves till the bell ring. Sure enough, we having a good time. We talking about the performance and everything or whatever. The phone rings in the classroom, and everybody knows when the phone rings in the classroom, they're calling someone down to be suspended. Right. So everybody looks at me. I'm like, man, I ain't do nothing. I'm telling Miss Stein, my teacher, Miss Stein, I didn't do nothing. He said, well, just go downstairs and see what's going on. Everybody laughing. My boy, shout out to Corey Mackey, my boy Jamie, Sean made it do. They all in class laugh like, motherfucker, you getting suspended. I'm like, man, I ain't do shit. So I go down. This was the story get crazy. So I go downstairs, and as soon as I walk in, Mr. Gonzalez, that was my principal at the time. As soon as I walk in, he's like, yo, you're going home for 10 days. Wow. I said, Mr. Gonzalez, I didn't do nothing wrong. What are you talking about? He said, you didn't do anything wrong. He hands me the referral slip. When you got in trouble back then to get suspended, they give you, a teacher had to write you up on a referral slip. He hands me the referral slip. When I look at the referral slip, in quotation marks, I see, I'll eat her pussy.
Wow.
And it says...
So he wrote that on the paper to show it to you as a...
Now I know you bugging, right? Because let me tell you something. Things that were done back in 92, 93... They would never do that now. It'll be lawsuits up your ass, right? Let me finish the story. Wow. So he gives me the paper. It says, I'll eat her pussy in quotation marks in reference to Lauryn Hill. Wow. This is what it says. And then immediately I look at the bottom and I want to see who wrote this. Who wrote this referral slip? Yeah. Her name was Mona. I forgot Mona's last name. She was a security guard. You know, you got them nosy security guards in high school? Yeah. That was Mona, right? Wow. I see Mona's name and I say, Miss Gonzalez, I just panicked. I was like, I would never talk about Lauryn Hill like that. She like my sister. Miss Gonzalez was like this. Really? Miss Blair, that was the secretary. Miss Blair, call Lauren downstairs. Remember I told you they treated her like a principal?
Like a principal, wow.
I go sit down in the little chairs, be the principal, you gotta sit down if you get suspended. I go sit down. 3 minutes later, Lauren walks in. Wow. I'm sitting there so embarrassed because I'm like, this shit is crazy. I know he gonna show her what he just showed me. Yeah. So when she walks in, Lauren, great job tonight. I mean, great job today. Whatever. Miss Blair, that's the secretary. They all hot. They hugging her and all this other shit. He hands her the referral slip. Wow. I'm looking there like, this is about to be the most embarrassing moment of my life. He hands her a referral slip. The mistake that he made, when he handed her the referral slip, simultaneously as he hands it to her, he says to her, he's laughing like she's like she's his counterpart.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, he says he's like your brother. He says to her. Within that second, Lauren looks at it, reads it, and she says, Ms. Gonzalez, Rashuan wouldn't do this. He's like my brother.
Wow.
I never forget it, man. I jumped out that chair. I told you, Ms. Gonzalez, I told you.
She had your back.
My back.
She had your back.
Ms. Gonzalez, he said, Lauren, you can go back to class. Mind you, it's only probably like 5 or 4 minutes left in the day before the bell rings. When she walks out, Ms. Gonzalez, she's my right-handed God. I promise y'all this is a true story. Ms. Gonzalez looks at me, he says, I don't care. She's like, mother, if I hear anything else, we're out here for 10 days. Get out of my office.
Wow.
When he says get out of his office, right? As soon as I walk, the office is all carpet. Out the hallway is like linoleum tile or whatever. As soon as my foot touched the linoleum tile, the bell went off. Everybody in the hallway.
Wow.
Everybody in the hallway. I run downstairs looking for my best friend, Walt. We've been friends 33 years. Shout out to Walt. So I run downstairs and looking for him because he's in photography class. I want to tell him what just happened. As soon as I see him, like, nigga, you ain't gonna believe this shit. He's standing right here. I'm in front of him. And as I'm talking to him, his eyes get real big like this. Lauren right behind me.
Oh, Lauren.
Like I'm talking to him. He's right here in front of me.
Okay.
So I find him to tell him what just happened. And as I'm talking to him, his eyes get big like this. I'm like my mom, like, what's wrong with her? She's walking, she's coming up behind me.
Right.
I feel her tap on the shoulder. She tapped my right shoulder. And I turned around, I looked at her. You ever know Lauren Hill? She got them nice lips. That same lipstick she wear. Let me tell you something. That same lipstick Lauren wear today is the same lipstick she wore in high school on my mama.
Wow.
So she's standing there, and I just looked at her, bro, and I just like, compliment. It was a compliment. That's all I said to her.
Right.
And she laughed and she said, don't worry about it, it's cool. I said, yo, Lauren, you just saved my ass. Like, he's about to give me 10 days. And she was just like,
wow.
Don't worry about it, it's all good.
So she was very mature for her age back then.
She was very mature. She was very mature. But that's still wild for the principal to show her something that was written like that.
Yeah, that's wild.
If you did that now,
they'd
be calling a lawyer and they'd be suing the school for $30 million.
That's like, yeah.
But it was just, so long story short, I took my shot right there.
Really?
So you got a boyfriend?
What?
I did.
What?
I said, that's right. I said, listen, Lauren, you got a boyfriend?
Right.
And she said, no. And I said, you mind if I walk you home? And she said, yeah, you can walk me home. I said, I got one last thing you can do for me. She's like, what? I was like, can you meet me on Summit? That was like 2 or 3 blocks up.
Right.
She's like, why you want me to meet you on Summit? I was like, because I don't want nobody hating and saying stuff when they see me with you.
Right,
and she's like, really? I was like, I'll meet you up there. And she was like, all right. So she met me up there.
Right.
I walked her home. And we started kicking it from there.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
So there's more to the story. We'll talk this later.
Yeah.
But
that's deep.
it's a deep story.
Yeah,
but
man.
Lauren was a great girl, and I'm so super proud of her success. No, we didn't mess around, nothing like that. There's another part that I don't make the story any longer than what it is.
No doubt.
But it was a great time in my life, man. I'm just so happy to see her today where she is. Don't get caught up in all this. She be late at the shows and shit. She done been through a lot.
Yeah, she been through a lot.
Been through a lot.
That's facts. Have you ever had a feud with another comedian, a co-comedian? Have you ever had a beef or feud with another comedian? And what happened?
That's a great question, man. You have a good question.
Thank you, bro.
Shout out this guy has some good questions.
Thank you, bro.
So there's one comedian who I used to be really fly with. We're no longer fly. We've probably been talking about 17 years.
Oh wow.
Naeem Lynn, he's part of the Plastic Cup Boys. So people understand when I started doing comedy, I was one of the first young black comedians that was moving very fast. Moving fast. And what I mean by that is I had a lot of different I went back to Rascals and got my own night there. So I had Rashuan Resse afterward comedy jam once a month. I had a spot called the Roman Elizabeth. I had a spot called Taste Lounge that was the hottest club on Tuesday nights in Bellevue, New Jersey. I had the Key Club downtown Newark. I was doing comedy virtually everywhere. Right? So as a young comic, I was a force to be reckoned with very quickly because I worked in sales, I understood business, and I understood how to make money. And I was funny out the gate. Just as funny as I am now, I was that funny coming out the gate. And Naeem and I had became pretty cool. Naeem wasn't that funny at the time, just being honest. He wasn't that funny at the time. He had formed a friendship with Kevin Hart at the time. But I also was cool with him. And we had started talking on the phone. You know how you become like kind of cool and you start trying to build a friendship.
Yeah.
And
I get it.
Yeah. And basically, make a long story short, like I said, he wasn't that funny. He was okay.
Yeah.
And I had this show at Rascals and I had him booked on the show. And I booked him because I I had started getting cool with him, and I just wanted to kind of look out for him.
That's what's up.
I'm doing these shows. Let me try to throw him a bone.
Right.
What happened was, in the midst of me doing the show at Rascals, there was a gentleman. He's passed on now. His name is Tyler Craig. I don't remember Tyler Craig. He had long dreads. He's from Atlanta. He died a couple years ago. Rest in peace to Tyler Craig. If you remember him, he always had a flask on BET's Comic View, and he'll tell a dude like, the moral of the story is.
Oh yeah.
That's Tyler Craig.
Yeah,
Y'all Google Tyler Craig, man.
Tyler Craig. Okay.
Stream Tyler Craig, but you're gonna know exactly who I'm talking about. And at the time, as a young comic, I got a call because I was hot and I had all these shows, and it was like, yo, Tyler Craig is in town. He wants to do your show.
Nice.
And I'm like, what? So long story short, I basically booked Tyler and bumped Naeem. So let me explain what I mean.
He was feeling some kind of way about that.
So let me say it again. So what I did, and it wasn't so much, I should have just allowed him to do the show as well. But I was just trying to save money and trying to make things work and all that stuff. And I had to pay Tyler a lot more money to do the show and so on and so forth. But it was the way I went about it. I should have just expressed this to him. Right. And I didn't do it that way. I kind of went about it like, fuck it, I'll just tell him what it is and it'll be what it be, because I just felt like I could do it that way. And that's not how you do business. You know, if things are gonna be, something's gonna change or something be different, then you call that person, or you talk to them, you explain to them what it is.
Give them heads up.
So on and so forth. So I didn't do that. And he felt some type of way about that. Yeah. So he held a grudge for that for many years.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's affected him.
You apologize and everything?
Yeah, but it affected him.
You apologize and everything?
Pardon me, all right. It affected him so bad. Everybody's different. Some people just hold grudges. His closest friend, shout out to Spank. That's my guy. Shout out to my man, Jonathan Martin. They're all like real close friends with him, but they know him better than me. So like, he's the type of person who just holds grudges. Some people like that. I don't hold grudges. I have the ability to apologize if I'm wrong. Right. If someone is wrong to me and they apologize to me, I have the ability to just move on. Right. And if as long as you didn't do nothing to really seriously hurt me or do something to me, then I can move on.
Makes sense.
You know, but yeah, he held on to that for many years. Yeah, and he remember now, Kevin Hart's godfather to his kids.
Oh, really?
Right. So you got to understand what was happening at the time. Kevin was doing okay at the time.
He was buzzing a little bit.
He was doing Paper Soldiers.
Yeah, he was buzzing. He
was coming along. Yeah. And I don't know, Kevin just kept doing this. He kept ascending. Fast. So now as Kevin started doing this is man, he going with him. So now he don't got to come back to me and kind of it's like, what you do now? Yeah, look at me now. So I respect it. Right. You know what I mean? I'm not knocking it. As a man, you got to know when you're wrong. You got to honor when you're wrong. I respect that. Yeah. And that's it. So that's a great question. But that's the only one I can really think of.
That's what's up. Is the comedy world more competitive or supportive behind the scenes? Because a lot of people don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Is it more supportive or competitive?
It's way more competitive. It's fluff in the back. So you'll find comedians that'll have these cliques and this is my crew, this, that, and a third. But comedy is a one man or one woman sport when you on that stage, right? So I don't care what type of group you got or whoever you rolling with. When you get on that stage, you by yourself. Can't nobody save you. I always tell people, you'll never hear nobody else say this but Rashuan Resse. This ain't Jodeci.
It's not a group.
When you're doing stand up, when you on that stage, my boy, no one can save you. Yeah. If JoJo voice crack, KC can come and grab the mic. Wow. Vice versa. If I'm on stage, I'm not doing well, can nobody save me? Wow. You on your own.
That's right.
Right, so that's, I always try to explain that to the younger comics, man. I stopped giving a bunch of knowledge to younger comics.
Yeah, because somebody just asked that question too. Daniel Lloyd said, what's your advice for young up and coming comedians? Where they should go to be seen?
I'm gonna give the best advice to a young comedian, and I came up the right way. I came up the right way under the tutelage of real solid stand-up comics. Right. T.K. Kirkland, Capone, Talent, Donnell Rollins. I came with some tough cats that really know how to work this microphone. Two things I'm gonna tell you. First thing is, get on stage, man.
Get on stage.
That's any stage.
Any stage. I feel
that's any stage. Don't get caught up in, I'm only gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Those are things you might do later on, but when you starting as a young comic, you just get on stage where you can. It's not always about the money, times have changed now because of social media. We can get into that as well. Yeah. So, you have a lot of comedians that are looking to get paid, and it's like, dude, you know, you need to learn how to be a stand-up comic first. You know, you need to learn timing, you need to learn delivery, you need to learn cadence. It's a lot to this, man. You know, and a lot of people are just kind of just pussyfooting their way through this because of social media, and they're being pushed through. And what's happening is the audiences are getting bullshit comedy. I'm telling you right now. And we'll get back to that too. I want to get back to this gentleman's question, but that's the social media thing. Please don't let me get away from that. We're gonna get back to that. But let me say this: get on stage as much as you can, you know, and don't put too much confidence in comedians, man. You know, build a camaraderie with comedians because they're gonna be your brothers and sisters. But once again, it's you. You know what I mean? It's you up there alone. So you have to get on that stage as much as you can. Build relationships with people because everything is always relationships. I'm not saying everybody can be your best friend. But it's always relationships.
Facts.
Another thing is, man, get to know the people. This is a great piece of advice I got from a veteran comic years ago. What they told me was never look for the comedian to put you on. Find out who is behind the comedian that's putting them on. So that means you want to know who's your agent.
Right.
Who's your agent? What agency are you with? Who's your manager? Right? Who's your booker?
Right.
These are the people that's going to help you. The comedian is going. They'll make it look like they're going to help you. Right. They're going to help you on what they want to help you on.
Right. They're going to give it all to you.
Right. So they're going to
want you to be better than them.
We'll get you on. You can do this show, but this show might have all the casting agents and the people that can help you. They won't get you on that. So it's like it's you gotta be careful of how you move. But the most important thing is get on stage.
It's definitely competitive. Okay.
Oh yeah. It's more competitive than you think.
Have you ever had a person, you know, stolen by another comedian? Yeah.
What you mean?
Yeah, stole some you know, material.
Comedians steal jokes all the time. Comedians still. I mean, you'll be here in Jersey City and your jokes will be in California.
Have you had somebody stole some of your material?
Right in front of me.
You serious?
Right in front of me. I don't want to say who. I don't want to say who, but I'm cool with him.
How did you handle that?
I didn't care.
You didn't even confront him?
I didn't care. So it was a name. I'm gonna say this. It was a named comedian, a known comedian, and this comedian is on tour, always on tour. And I know he took the joke because I know my material, but and another comedian came up to me when he did it. Another comedian was like, "Yo," he like literally walked up to me like, "Yo, you doing your shit?" I let him have it because I'm so gifted as a comedian, which means I'll give you an example. So if I write if there's a subject matter, let's take cell phones, right? I literally have over 30 jokes about cell phones.
That's what's up.
I don't get mad because cell phones is such a broad topic. Yeah. So, you know, sometimes great minds think alike, but you'll know if somebody took your shit because it's going to be certain words you use, certain things you do.
Too specific.
You know. Yeah. But I'm the type of person where, like I said, I'm an improv comic, so it's like I have so much stuff in my mind on certain subject matters. I didn't trip.
That's what's up.
He definitely took it.
That's integrity, though, bro. That's deep. Here's another question. We're gonna get back to. I want to get back to Def Jam comedy and all that stuff too. Okay. You know, but I got time. You got time? Okay, cool. And just for you guys, you're there. If you have any questions, put them questions down in your mind or whatever the case may be. If you want to call in, you can call in to ask Rashuan Resse some questions. If you want to call in, you don't have to put it on the comment board. But if you prefer to put it on the comment board, that's fine as well. All right. So if you got any questions, you know, put it down in your head and you can go ahead and call in. I'm going to put the phone number on the comment board right now so you can have it. Okay. Jot it down. And when the question and answer time comes, you go ahead and call in and you can speak directly to my man, Rashuan.
Yeah.
All right. So the next question would be, what's the pettiest argument you had with another comedian? The pettiest. And you look back at that like, yo, that shit wasn't even worth it. Like, wow.
What's the pettiest argument?
Yeah.
With a comedian?
Yeah.
Man, there's so much stuff that goes on behind the scenes, man. It's just as many comedians I'm cool with that I'm fond of, just many I don't deal with.
Right.
You know, and it could just be, sometimes it can be my fault, it can be their fault.
Right.
But I wouldn't say it's petty, man. I don't want to get into any real particulars of it.
I understand, yeah. If you ain't got to do that, you know.
But just know, you know.
So have a backstage, you know, because as I'm talking to you, I'm thinking about how some of the greats, the stuff they went through. you know, Cat Williams and Steve Harvey and, you know, the big wigs, you know, some of the stuff they went through and hearing their situations and not being in that world, you not knowing that, damn, that shit goes on with them too. All that money they making and you know what I mean? And that's still happening.
Yeah, yeah.
You know
I
what
mean, because a lot of times with the veteran comedians or the stars that you see, they're deeply rooted. This is some shit that happened back in the day. Yeah. Like when you hear Cat talking about, he's saying, well, Cedric Entertainers took my joke, shit like that. Yeah. I'm not getting in the middle of that because I don't know if he did or he didn't. Right. But I'm just telling you, this stuff stems from years ago. I just told you a friend of mine who was a friend of mine, when Plastic Cup Boys, we haven't talked in 17 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? To the point where his friends that are around, I'm like, yo, get over it. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. Grown ass men now. You know?
But yeah, it's a lot of stuff is deeply, deeply rooted, man. These comics have issues that go back to when they were younger comics before they actually blew up.
So, you know? When they blew up, do you feel like some comics get blackballed because of it? Them past issues, they get blackballed?
Well, that's where when I was talking to the young comic that had asked the question, I said relationships are everything. That's a prime example of it, right? Because you have a situation with a comic and it'll block you on other stuff. Like this, I know for a fact there are things that I could have done with Kevin Hart, LOL Network, and things of that nature that probably didn't happen because of the problem I had with Old Boy. That's how the game go. You know what I mean? So, obviously you can't do everything, but I know that an opportunity somewhere in there got trimmed because of that.
That's deep.
And he has enough power because your best friend is Kevin Hart.
Facts.
So it can happen, man. You know, that's why I tell younger comics, that's one of the best advice is find out who's behind the comic to help get you on and in relationships, man. Maintain relationships because you never know who's going to out-jump who in this business.
Right.
Now, there's comics out here. Nobody knew Kevin Hart was going to out-jump everybody. Kevin was coming up working the circuit. Back in the day, no one knew that Kevin was going to, he out-jumped everybody.
Fast too, bro. Real fast.
Bro, when I say it like that.
Yeah.
Same thing with Tiffany had the same thing.
Man.
You know, sometimes it just happens like that. You catch the right move and it's on. And so you got it. Relationships are the key component that I've learned in this business. That doesn't mean with comics. That means with producers, directors, promoters. You never know.
Never know. That
same person that was on a TV show that you worked on, that was, let's say, getting the coffee, now they're executive producer for this TV show 10 years later. And when you told them, hey, we get that fucking coffee and this and that, you talking crazy. Now they're a producer on Netflix. Wow. And you wondering why you ain't getting, you auditioned, you killed the show, you wonder why you didn't get the Netflix. And the person that was getting the coffee back then is sitting there like this. Hey, Rashuan, how are you? That's how this go. Yeah. Got you the janitor good.
That's real talk.
Never know.
Yeah. Are there unspoken rules about comedy beefs? Or is it all fair game?
Don't steal jokes.
Don't steal jokes.
Yeah, you don't want to be known as a joke thief.
Yeah.
That's probably like, as a comic, that's the worst thing you could be called.
A joke thief.
You get known for look at Carlos Mencia. Y'all remember Carlos Mencia, the Spanish comic? It came out he was a joke thief, and Joe Rogan put his ass out there, and his career went like that. That was over.
Damn.
Yeah, this guy was doing theaters, arenas, he was doing everything, and then he just he tanked out because once the word got out, they started showing the other jokes from other big name comedians, and they would show his joke, and he's doing verbatim. It just
wow.
Yeah, don't want
to
deep.
That's deep. Do comedians talk trash about each other in private? And what's the wildest thing you've heard? You know,
they do, man, but I don't get into that with them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't get into that, man. I just kind of like with me, man, because I'm sure they talk trash about me.
Right.
Because I've always been a person that know how to get to the money in this game. So it's like, you know, I always tell people when you're in the business, and I told you I came into this business already working in sales.
Right.
So I understood how to make money very, very, very quickly.
That's
business. You know what I mean? So most comedians don't have a lot of business sense.
Right.
Disrespect, a lot of y'all don't know. Right? They don't even know how to handle a budget. The biggest budget I ever handled for a comedy show was $85,000. Most of y'all have never had $85,000 in your hand in your life. So for somebody to trust you with $85,000, you got to book the comedians, you got to book the venue. Shout out to Wendy Williams. That was 2009. I did a big show at the Robert Treat Hotel. It was Wendy Williams co-hosted it with me.
Nice.
I booked D. Ray Davis, Michael Collier, and JB Smooth.
Nice.
Right? So that budget was $80,000. Most comedians deal with a budget of $400 or $500 at a bar somewhere.
Yeah.
So, but you have to understand that when you're doing business that way, it comes with good and bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because people gonna look at you. You know, I've always been, when I came into the game, man, I understood how to make money. So I was making money fairly fast. I had my own shows. I was driving nice cars. People like, well, how the fuck is he in a 650 BMW?
Right.
And he's doing comedy full time and never been on TV at this time. Like, how is this happening? Because I understood how to make money. If I get into something, if
and
you don't
had
understand,
good relationships. You had good
it
relationships.
all started with that. Yeah, absolutely.
No doubt. Who's your who's your top 5
comedians?
Top 5 comedians. Daniel Lloyd answer that question.
Good question.
Yeah.
So this is how. That's a great question. So this is my top 5, and I equate it to me. So my top 5. When I say I equate it to me, I try to take a little something from each one of these comics and add it into me.
Nice.
And that's what makes me so strong as a comic. And I'm gonna start right here.
That's
so
dope,
Richard Pryor.
Okay.
Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, Red Fox. Can't hear myself when out. Okay. Red Fox, Martin Lawrence, Eddie Murphy, Bill Cosby. Well, leave out. Name 5.
Martin Lawrence, Bill Cosby, Eddie Murphy.
Let me make sure I got it right. Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, Bill Cosby, Red Fox, Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor.
There you go.
There it is. All right.
All right. So when you look at
that's what's up.
when you look at the 5, right? So you say, well, what do you take from them? Bill Cosby, being able to be clean.
Nice.
Right? I'm one of those comics, man. And I hear comics now. It's so bull. Comics, stop the bullshit. I'm gonna tell you right now. Stop this bullshit. I get any comedians that's on this live, please stop the bullshit. Don't get caught up in I'm a clean comedian.
Right.
Don't get caught up in I'm a Christian comedian. BS. I don't want to say that I say Christian.
Right.
If you're a comedian, you should be able to do comedy without cursing.
Right.
My first television appearance was One Mic Stand alongside Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart was the host. My first television appearance was 2008 with Kevin Hart. BET's One Mic Stand.
Nice.
We couldn't say bitch, motherfucker. The only thing you could really say, I think, was ass and damn. And,
Okay.
and you had to be careful with that.
With that, yeah.
And I did a great job, right? So, you know, when it comes to doing stand-up without cursing, there are a lot of comedians that can't do that.
Right.
Well, I don't understand how you can do that because you have to, your brain, you gotta think before you speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Whatever I'm saying right now, my brain is telling me to do it first.
Right. Way in advance. Yep. Way in advance.
Way in advance.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So I get mad when I hear comedians say I'm a clean comic. I'll be honest with you. I know I'm going to the left a little bit.
That's all right.
I'm going to be honest with you. That's a black thing, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that.
It's a culture.
It's a culture thing where our people do that to separate themselves, to make it look like they're on a different level of stand-up.
On a higher level.
Or separate themselves over here so they can get money over here and say, and I'm telling you, comics will do that. They're like, oh, I'm a clean comic. He or she can't.
Right. Yeah.
What are you talking about? If you're a skilled comedian, you should be able to tell jokes without cursing. You know, you should be able to speak freely and without cursing. But I get mad when comics say that. But back to the 5 comics, Bill Cosby being clean.
Yeah. You
know, I have that in my repertoire where I've done corporate shows, I've done college shows, I've done Christian shows where I'm up there and I have to be clean.
Nice.
Eddie Murphy, just the ability to, oh man, Eddie is just, when you talk about doing voices and sounds, you know, Eddie is a guy that can play any audience.
Yeah, man.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, when you look at him, what he did as far as the movies, by creating like 48 Hours and Beverly Hills Cop, but then come back, and that's more mainstream, and then come back and do it for us and do Harlem Nights and Boomerang, you know what I mean? That type of thing. And plus Eddie just raw as shit. So you've seen me. I get raw and talk crazy.
Yeah. Definitely. Eddie definitely raw.
Martin, the ability to make you laugh without even opening his mouth. Martin is an improv genius. You know, he can just his expressions and him acting like Dragonfly, acting like a goddamn fool. No talking, right? Can make you laugh.
You know who I think is good with that too?
Who?
Mike Epps.
Great.
Mike Epps. Yeah.
Mike Epps very talented.
I had the experience of, booking Mike Epps.
Yeah.
Years ago.
Really?
At the Canton.
Oh, that's dope. What year was this?
$30, something like that.
What year was this, bro?
Shoo. It was like 90s.
I'm about to say it had to be in the 90s.
Yeah, it had to be 90s. Yeah, 90s. I used to go see him all the time at the spot in New York on Broadway.
On Broadway. You remember the name of it?
The name of the
Was it Nails, was it?
No, what is it still around? Comedy.
Was it Caroline's back then?
Caroline's.
Yeah, they closed down though.
They closed down? Yeah, it was Caroline's, yeah. So I had got him one time. He came to the Canton one time.
Okay.
I think it was like $30, $35.
Yeah.
I had his number and everything when he got big.
Yeah.
Called him. I was like, damn, you know, he all over the place now. I'm like, yo, you know, this number has.
Shout, man, listen, Mike going for 70 to 100 now.
This number has
70 to 100K. It's different now.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was like, wow.
Yeah, shout out to Mike, man. I mean, of course, Def Jam era as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's get into that. The whole Def Jam. I know you said you wanted to get back to that.
Yeah. How was it? What was it like working with the guy named Bob, right?
Yeah, Bob Sumner.
He's the one who started that, because I remember him being in Peppermint Lounge years ago. Yeah. That's where I got Jay from. I brought Jay to the Canton years ago.
Yeah, wow.
So, Jay, I stole him from the Peppermint Lounge.
Okay.
And he started coming over there. Well, I ain't stole him from, you know, it was a different day. But anyway, you know, I met Bob one time over at Peppermint Lounge, but I never really got to know him like that.
All right, so Bob is actually my manager right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Bob Sumner. The name is Bob Sumner. If y'all don't know who Bob Sumner is, you can Google him, man. Been around for a lot of years. Some of your, I'm not gonna say some, probably 80% or better of your African-American comedians, male or female, he put on. He executive produced Def Comedy Jam alongside the legendary director Stan Lathan.
Wow.
Which is Stan Lathan's father. He's directed every goddamn thing. And Russell Simmons, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, big dog, man. I mean, my first television appearance with Kevin Hart was him. Bad Boys of Comedy with P. Diddy, Laugh Tracks, True TV. He's done pretty much anything and everything in the comedy business as far as television is concerned. Wow. So if you love Bernie Mac, if you like Mike Epps, if you like Tracy Morgan, if you like Ari Spears, you like D.L. Hewlett, you like Cedric Entertainer, you like Craig Robinson, you like some more, you like Adele Gibbons, you like Eddie Griffith, I can keep going on and on and on and on. My manager discovered them.
Wow.
All right, so I'm gonna let nobody tell you anything different.
Bob,
that's right. That's right.
Bob.
Yeah, and because you gotta understand something. When Def Jam came out, we talked about this a little while ago, where, you know, we only knew those certain comedians that were stars. So Def Jam was like a breakout thing.
Right.
You know, all these comedic stars are coming out of nowhere.
Up, yep.
Chris Tucker.
Yep.
Right.
All of them, yep.
My manager discovered Chris Tucker at a comedy competition called the Bay Area Competition in California. It was a big, huge competition for many years. He saw Chris Tucker, and Chris Tucker had placed, and then I guess it was like the semifinals or something. He lost in the semifinals, and my manager basically offered him a shot on Def Jam. All right, basically booked him on the spot, like, yo, I'm gonna put you on Def Jam.
Dope.
Puts this guy Chris Tucker on Def Jam. Yeah, I know the legendary set in Def Jam. It was only about 4 minutes and some change that he performed, and the rest is history. Because what comes after Def Jam? Friday.
Wow.
And I want you to understand something. If he doesn't put him on Def Jam, I'm not saying it would have happened or it wasn't going to happen, but where the fuck was Ice Cube going to see him at?
That's deep.
Chris Tucker's from Atlanta. Ice Cube is from LA some goddamn where.
Right.
Where was he going to see him at? So this is why Bob was so influential, because he had the uncanny ability to see star quality. It's one thing to go out and see comedians and say, oh, I like him. No, it's another to see someone and say, he got it. They got star power.
Nice.
And the rest is history, man. He's done it for so many comedians, man. So I always applaud him. And
that's what's up. Peace to Bob, man.
Yeah, I'm a part of his Legacy Entertainment Group, LEG. I signed with him a year ago. And look out for us, the Rising Stars of Comedy. We're touring starting the next couple of months. We'll be touring all over the country. We're going to Belize. We're going to Bermuda.
What about this project you got? Something you got? You said you got some type of thing going on, Project Reese. I don't know.
Well, no, Reese Project.
Reese Project. The Reese Project. I hear you say that a lot.
The Reese Project is my moniker. Of course, it's Rashuan Resse, but the Reese Project is just a host of everything. And what I do, like I said, I write.
Got it.
I produce. It's just a moniker that basically just solidifies what I am as a whole.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like I said, there's so many things coming up, man. Some of the things I can't really get into. TV show that's coming up as well for stand up. Y'all look out for that. 2025 is going to be insane. That's coming up. So there's a bunch of stuff going on, man, that I'm really blessed to be a part of. I can't complain, man. You know, I've been doing comedy a long time. So
you seem like you love it too, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
That's it.
This shit don't work out, it's over, man. I don't know what the fuck gonna happen.
If you didn't do comedy, what would you be doing?
I've been in law enforcement.
That's right. You said police officer. That's right.
Yeah, they tried. Sheriff officer tried to hire me years ago.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, they tried. It was so many years ago. Now they email you and shit. Back then they mail you a letter.
Right.
Like you've been offered this position.
Right.
And I never forget it. My mother called me and she was like, "Oh my God, baby, the sheriff officer offered you a position." And I said, "Mom, I'm gonna do this comedy thing," because I was working at Sears and Robot at the time. I said, "Well, Mom, I'm gonna do this comedy for a little while, and I got a couple years, before I could, And my mother went crazy. My mother retired principal. She didn't want to hear that shit. I was like, "Who the fuck told you it was funny? You gonna turn down a gun, a pension, and all this? Talking about jokes?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, my mother didn't believe I was doing comedy till she seen me on TV with Kevin Hart. I just want y'all to know that.
And how does she like it? How does she like seeing you do what you do? How does she feel? And how does she take that? How does she?
Oh, she love it now because if I take her to her doctor's appointments and stuff like that, she's like, my son a comedian.
Right.
They be on TV with Kevin Hart and all of them. Yeah, now it's okay, but before that, my mother did not believe. That's just black people in general. We don't believe shit till we see you on the tube.
That's right.
Things are a little different now because of the internet and stuff, but at that time it was TV.
Yeah, no doubt. Wow, that's what's up, man. So, what is it like, man, being a comedian and being in clubs, big venues, and you're dating? Or do you have a girlfriend? Or are you married? Or are you engaged?
Yeah, I got a lady, man, but it's tough, man.
Yeah.
Oh, my
How so?
God.
He said,
What?
oh my God. How so?
It's hard, man, because you be traveling, you moving around, you meet so many different people. It can be difficult, man.
Right.
Depends on the person that you're with. You know what I mean?
How long you been with your lady now?
A couple of years, man.
Couple of years. Oh, so it's fresh.
I tell comedians, don't have no girlfriend.
Especially just getting started, or especially?
Don't do it. Because
Why
most
so?
people are not going to understand your plight. They're not going to understand what you're involved in. This shit is like, it's an everyday, all day thing. It's a 24 hour day, 7-day thing.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So you can get a call. We need you to do a show here. We need you to go here. You might have to go out of town for 3 days. You got to go.
Got to go.
So if you got a woman that's clinging to you, or a woman that doesn't know how to handle that.
Want that attention all the time?
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I could have probably got on years ago. I turned down a major opportunity. I don't want to say I turned down a major opportunity, but I just didn't go.
Because of the woman?
Yeah, I had a lady I was dating for 4 years at the time.
So she must she
was a good girl though. And she would tell me like, "Oh, if you gotta go, just go."
That thing was nice.
She was nice, but she was nice that she married somebody else now. Look at this shit. Yeah, she a full nurse now. She down in Tampa.
Right.
She in Tampa, Florida, now in a big ass house.
She upgraded.
But
hypergamy.
What happened is, make a long story short, when I did the BET One Mic Stand with Kevin Hart in 2008, the producer, shout out to James DeBose. If y'all look up James DeBose, one of the biggest producers, you look up his filmography and what he's done, it's about 8 pages of shit. Wow. If you've seen anything on BET back in the day, from the award shows, anything, you'll see James DeBose.
That's what's up.
He wanted me to do a new show that was going to be called Played by Fame, and it was going to be BET's version of Punk'd. MTV, MTV had Punk'd.
Yeah, Punk'd. Yeah.
Well, Punk'd is basically where they used to punk the celebrity.
Right.
Played by Fame was, that's what it says. Played by Fame. Basically, what they were going to do in that show was the famous person would play the fan.
Right.
So basically, they wanted me to play like a small, I want to say a small role, a signature role on the show. What they were going to do. I'll give you an example. The example that the producer told me at the time was, say like a fan wanted to meet Serena Williams.
Got it.
And the fan wrote in, my biggest thing is to meet Serena Williams. So Serena agrees to take this fan on a shopping spree, lunch and all that stuff, whatever. Right. They go to the mall, they do a shopping spree. And in the midst of the shopping spree, they basically put like a fake, not a fake, but like a Gucci bag or something in the fan's bag, the person's bag, and make it like they're stealing it. So when they're leaving out the mall, the alarm goes off, the security guard jumps out, that would be me. Yeah. And they would just let me improv through that. Right. And I'll never forget it. Monica Boyd, shout out to Monica Boyd. She's one of the producers of the show. And she called me, and the host of the show was going to be Hits. Remember Hits? Hits, yeah. Hits from BT. He was going to be the host of it. And they wanted me to come. And she told me, she said, you need to move to LA. She said, James DeBose loves you. He just loves your look. He thinks you belong on television. And yeah, long story short. You went? I didn't go.
Oh, because of that thing.
Yeah, I wasn't so, I don't want to just blame it all on her, but I was kind of, I'll be honest with you, man.
Not just her, that thing.
I was kind of scared, to succeed at the time. Okay. Because it was all I had dreamt about was getting on television, and I finally got my first television appearance.
I feel like you're going to fail.
Well, no, I wouldn't even know I was going to fail. I knew I would do well because I just did well on BET, but it was happening so fast.
So that scared you?
It scared me. Yeah. I was younger at the time. Wow. And yeah, I think I kind of used her as a crutch. Yeah. I don't want to leave my girl, but I was like, wow, like, I prayed for this day to happen, and now I'm on TV, and by the time I get back home, they're saying, we need you to move to LA. I was like, what?
That's the.
Well, can we do this in a couple of months? Like, no, we need you to hear now. And that's how Hollywood works. So you know, it was you live and you learn.
Yeah.
And now I'm in a space now. Like I said, I'm rocking with Bob Sumner, and we've been traveling all over. I just got back from L.A. A couple weeks ago. We performed at the world famous Comedy Store.
Nice.
Shout out to Michelle Murdoch.
Nice.
That was unbelievable.
Nice.
The house that Richard Pryor built, and I went there and tore the ass up. Yeah. So it's been going pretty well, man. So some opportunities are coming back, and trust me, I'll be going.
You'll be going.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, much love to you, man.
I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, much love
You already
to you,
know.
man. Anybody got any questions for my man Rashuan Resse? You can do that now. You can go ahead and take this number and call in and ask some questions right now. So we'll wait for you to do that. If you got any questions, go ahead and call in now. What's good with you? What's good with you? Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. Shelton, thank you for chiming in. What's going on, Terry? Much love. Alan McCoy, peace and blessings. God's son, shout out to you, man. Salute. Daniel Lloyd, thank you again for chiming in. Thank you for engaging. I appreciate that, brother. Any questions you got, you can just go ahead and call my man. Call right now with your questions. If not, that's cool too. Yep. So anything you want to leave with the people right now? Any last words you want to say, my man, Sean?
In regards to what?
To anything. To anything you want to say.
Hey, yo, man, just keep supporting comedy. First and foremost, support this brother, man. Support Dave and his podcast, man. This is a great setup. Y'all can't see what he doing here. This motherfucker got some shit in here.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
Got an alarm in this motherfucker because
yeah.
got some ring cameras and shit. This nigga got a lot of shit up there. This shit look like a goddamn studio for real.
Yeah.
And I just appreciate, this brother. I appreciate him inviting me here to interview me because that shows he has respect for what I do.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And he knows I have respect for what he does as well, as far as his DJing and things that he does as well.
Thanks, bro.
And he's doing this on a high level, man. That's what's dope about it. So support the podcast.
Appreciate it.
I only ask that people support stand-up comedy, especially black comics.
Yeah.
Whether it be male or female, support them. You know what I mean?
Speaking of male or female, who do you see in the game that's coming up? That's female, that's rocking right now. Because you did mention something about you write for females. So not saying to put the person that you write for out there. Who do you see coming up in the game right now? Top 5 female comedians.
Females? Oh, man. So look these females up. I'm telling you who tough. With all this other bullshit.
Yeah.
Ashima Franklin. Out of Atlanta, Georgia. Ashima Franklin.
Okay.
Just Niche.
Just Niche.
Out of Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah.
Just Niche. Out of Chicago, Illinois. Think who else? Who else would I say? Female. Stiletto. Out of Baltimore, Maryland. Okay. Goddamn animal.
Peace, huh?
Yo, these females I'm naming is not to be fucked with. Trying to think.
Take your time.
Trying to think. There's somebody else I'm thinking about too. Vanessa Fraction. Out of Chicago. Goddamn animal.
That's 2 out of Chicago now, right?
Yeah, Chicago crazy.
Chicago, yeah.
Male and female. It's one of the toughest cities out there for stand-up. I'm trying to think of, how many I gave you?
That was 3, I think.
Shima, Just Niche.
And somebody else from Chicago.
That's a fraction. Female-wise. Yamanika.
And where's she from?
Look up Yamanika. Yamanika, I believe she's out of Harlem, New York.
Okay.
Funny as hell. Yamanika. Look up that name. Yamanika, dope as hell. I'm gonna think of one more. I think is just really coming up gifted. Pretty Ricky out of Jersey.
Pretty Ricky.
That's my girl, Pretty Ricky. You can catch her on tour with Cat Williams. Okay. Oh, I gotta wait. One more. I gotta put out there. Takara Williams.
Okay.
If you're not familiar with Takara Williams, look up Takara Williams. Funny as hell.
Takara Williams.
Takara was just on tour with Cat Williams as well. She tours on her own as well. Very, very funny.
Nice.
All these women are funny. There's a lot of other funny women too, but
Right.
these ones I just named, believe when I tell you.
Okay.
All animals.
Give me 4 under them, or 4, I would say, locally, between in Jersey. Give me 4 in Jersey that you feel got it. Like they got it. Like so every time you see them, yo, they just crush the stage. They crush the mic. They take control.
I shot a half-hour special with Bob Sumner. Shot a half-hour special. One of the ladies that shot with us, she's from Jersey, GL Douglas.
GL Douglas, yeah, okay.
That's my girl, GL tough.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen her.
She come a long way. She's very she's a clean comic too. She's not gonna go up there cursing and stuff.
No cursing.
She's a teacher.
Oh, really?
Mother, and she does very, very well on stage. We worked together plenty of days. We pretty much came up together.
Right.
I've been doing it a little bit longer. I might have been doing it 2 years longer than her.
Right.
Jersey comics?
Yeah.
Females?
Yes, females. All females. Who you see that got it, man. Every time you seen them, you like, yo, she funny as hell, and she took charge of the stage, man. She command, you know. But you know how you get some comedians that come up, right, and they'll come in, and you can tell that they're a little shy. You know what I mean? They're a little shy, and they don't really take control. You know what I mean? You get some females do that, but then you get some females coming in. You know,
I like Miss Delicious out of Jersey City too.
Oh, Miss Delicious. Okay, yeah, Miss Delicious. Yeah.
I don't think she gets enough.
Yeah, she dope, man. Miss Delicious dope.
But that might be your fault, Miss Delicious. You gotta get your ass back out here.
Yeah.
And she worked too.
Yeah, she worked too. Yeah,
She worked.
She got security. Like
But
that,
I watched her.
Yeah, she grew.
Every year.
Yeah,
She gotten stronger and stronger and better and better.
Yeah, I can say that too. She got a lot of
There's not
material.
a whole lot of female comedians out of Jersey like that. I think.
What about what's her name? Her name is, I like her a lot too. Monique Latisse.
Monique is funny. Yeah, I think
Monique.
Yeah.
Monique, yeah, she dope.
Yeah, I watched her come up too from the beginning when she first started. Coming a long way too. So it's not that many. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think it's somebody that rock with her too. I forget her name. That rocks with Monique. But I want to have Monique on the chair too soon. I want to because I think it's hard for them too sometimes.
For female comedians? Yeah, hell yeah.
Dealing with because it's mostly men in this game.
I mean, it's definitely harder for them.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's gotten better though. I can tell you, I've been doing stand up a long time, and I've watched the female comedian just keep getting better and better.
Yeah,
you know, because for many years, like I said, it was just once Def Jam came out, you know, you had Samore, Adele, Monique. They were pretty much that was the core. That was it. But if you look now, it's tons of female comedians all over. Oh my God, there's so many. It's crazy.
Word. That's a fact.
Good to see you too, Kirk. Much love and respect. Thank you for chiming in. I appreciate you. If you guys can just like the page, I appreciate it, man. Just like the page. Those who here, I appreciate it. Like the page, share the page. Over there on YouTube, you can do the same. I appreciate that. Much love and respect. If you got any questions for my man, Rashad, you can go ahead and ask them questions. You know, thank you so much. He covered a lot of stuff, man. He gave us a lot of material regarding the behind the scenes and all that. So if y'all can go ahead and just like the page, it's appreciated. So if there's nothing else, no other comments, no other, no call-ins and nothing like that, we're going to go ahead and move up out of here. You know what I mean? Once again, brother Rashuan, I appreciate it, man.
I appreciate
it means
you, bro.
a lot, man.
It's all love.
This, you can take this, man, and go forward with this, as far as the material, you can use it, cut it up how you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Much love. Thank you, man. Once
I
again.
appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, thank you. My man, Rashuan Resse. Yeah. Peace and blessings.
And this shit's dope.